Okay, my friends, welcome. It's lovely to see you all as always. Samir, hi. iPhone, I'm guessing iPhone is Wendy. And Mary, hi.
Hi.
No, Wendy, remember Wendy's in Europe.
No,
What?
Wendy is in Europe and it is 1 o'clock in the morning and Wendy can't sleep and Wendy's here. Hello.
So is Mary with the I and Mary with the Y.
Mari is Mari for Maria, but everybody calls me Mari, but you can call me Maria.
Okay.
Hi,
All
Mari.
right. All right, folks. Usually I kind of give you the titles of the last 7 daily inspirations, and I'll let you go ahead and choose one, and then I'll read it, and then we go from there. So here are the titles of the last 7 daily inspirations. A second, please. July 8th, God's love is always available to you. July 9th, solutions to the ego's judgment, stress, anxiety, and anger. July 10th, today, let us practice being who in truth we are. July 11th, the truth in you cannot be judged. July, I don't know why I say June. July 12th, the ego's imaginary childish games. July 13th, giving up nothing and getting everything in return. And July 14th, the ego's judgments or the peace of God.
I like July 9th.
July 9th, okay, so solutions to the ego's judgment, stress, anxiety, and anger. Okay, paragraph 1. We have tried to deal with our problems in a myriad of different ways. Then, as soon as we do, more problems pop up insisting that they must be also solved in order for us to have peace of mind and joy. Is it any wonder why the ego's solution to our confusion makes us feel frustrated, tired, and stressed out? Feeling frustrated, tired, and stressed out are all symptoms of believing that the illusion and an illusionary set of tools can solve our delusional thinking. There's no need to judge and punish ourselves or others for thinking that the ego's dream is real. That behavior only feeds and fuels the ego's dream. Instead, let us realize that those who feel this way do so because they have been taught to see, interact with, and participate in the ego's fairy tales as real. Paragraph 2. Today, let us put an end to trying to rationalize our judgment, stress, anxiety, and anger. Let us no longer blindly take the ego's bait, no matter how many times the ego tries to convince us that now, in this situation, or with this specific person, is the time to use its tools and mindset. Today, let us stop traveling down the ego's dead-end roads that we now know, thanks to our life experiences, only lead us to more confusion, pain, chaos, and regret. We have the scars to prove that we have fought in the ego's battlefields long enough. It is time for peace. It is time to place our life fully in God's hands, where it belongs. It is time to trust that our divine plan is perfect and perfect for us. Understanding the plan that we have co-created with God is perfect. Today, let us allow gratitude to replace our judgments and fears, and peace to replace our anger and pain. In doing so, joy will replace our sorrow, and the problems we once had will turn into gifts offered up to us by God to help us grow, heal, and awaken. Amen. Anyway, okay. So the idea today is, let's see, title is The Ego's Solutions to Its Delusions. And so the ego always is going to offer you a solution, a quote unquote solution to whatever your despair is, to whatever your problem is. And so the ego is going to give you like 10 issues in your life, right? And then it's going to say, well, you solve these 10 issues these 10 different ways. And then guess what happens? You solve the 10 issues those 10 different ways, and then 10 more pop up. And then the ego says, well, now we have to have 10 other solutions. But in reality, the solution is always the same. It's always to remember that you have co-designed your journey with the divine. And therefore, no matter what you're going through, no matter how the ego defines what it is that you're going through, it is in some way, shape, or form here to help you grow, heal, and awaken. And so if everything is here to help you grow, heal, and awaken, the appropriate response to that is gratitude and appreciation, not only for your courage to deal with the situations, but also for those people who have, in quotes, volunteered to come into your life to help you see that you are holding something within you that does not belong inside of you. Judgment, anger, resentment, hate, frustration, regret, guilt, shame, none of that belongs inside of you. Those are just programs who have been taught as real and true. And those are just programs we've reinforced over time. Like a little child, you know how when you read a fairy tale to a little child and the little child loves it, so the little child goes to you, hey, can you read that over again? and they say that over and over again. And sooner or later, they start to believe this fairy tale is more real and more real. That's us. That's us with judgment and anger and resentment and jealousy and hate. We've just been taught those fairy tales. And now we solve these fairy tales not by answering judgment with judgment or anger with anger or an eye for an eye. We don't do that anymore. That's the ego's programming, okay? What we do is recall, okay, this situation is here for me. This situation is here to help me grow, heal, and awaken in some way, shape, or form. So let me just acknowledge that. Acknowledge that I brought this into my presence for me, to help me awaken, to help me see what I don't have to carry within. That I can put the backpack of my past judgments down, my past anger and resentment and pain. I can put all that stuff down and start becoming the light of the world that God created all of us to be. And so that's a little bit of what that means. Any comments or questions?
I understand what it means. It's and I want to internalize it, and it's really, really hard.
Okay, can I stop you for a second? Note the words you use when you're saying that things are hard. They will appear to be hard. Okay, when you say they're challenging, they're going to appear to be challenging. No, you are love. Okay, so nothing real that you truly want is difficult. Everything that you truly want and desire to have and experience and share, it's easy. The Course in Miracles calls that an effortless accomplishment, because all you're doing is being who you truly are, who God created you to be. So I just wanted to make that point. Listen to the words you're using with yourself and start shifting them in the direction that will help you accomplish what you do want. Okay, so sorry. What were you asking?
No, you said some good things, and I don't want to forget it. So, the, the,
Your volume is a little low, or
how about now?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to internalize this, and it's definitely in my realm of opportunity and possibility. But there is an auto conditioning where if somebody in your life is saying something that's triggering, you have to respond and um, play boundary. Okay, at that particular time, how do I bring in the gratitude when my immediate response is I need to put some boundaries in place? This person is judging me. That's one. That's one, and the other is, professionally, like in investing or something, or people have different forms of work. If something is no, in general, if something is not going well, our immediate response is to respond, put the energy out there to fix it, to grow from there. Um, it, at what point do we bring gratitude in it? Because if something is going wrong, you need to fix it. Uh, you can't passively let it get worse. You know what I mean? So where is gratitude? Is it much later after the incident is over, or when that we bring that in? Like I know, Will talked yesterday about how he's always in a state of gratitude, but in life things are happening. We need to react to those things, whether it's a work situation or it's a personal situation.
Okay. Okay. Your first question was about if somebody triggers you, right? If your first response is judgment, was that your
No,
concern?
the response is you have to put bound. It not triggers you if somebody is like judging you or doing something that doesn't bring you peace.
Mm.
Then you want to put some boundaries. Okay.
Okay.
And where is the gratitude piece?
Okay. That gratitude piece comes quicker and quicker the more you practice trusting in God's divine design over the ego's divine design. Sorry, over the ego's design. And so just imagine that God is perfect love, right? So somewhere in time and eternity, you and God co-created this journey for you, right? So,
When was this? When was this?
well, esoterically, it was before you were born. Before you were born, you came. Okay, you were in a place of perfect love. Okay, before coming to Earth. Okay, and in this place of perfect love, you heard a call for help and healing from this world. Okay, and you said to yourself, okay, I can help and heal in this and this and this area. It might be addiction, or it might be finance, or whatever it is. And so you said to yourself with your guides, okay, help me develop a situation where I can help heal people in this area, where I can bring light to darkness in this area. Okay. And so you guys designed a plan along with source's guidance, of course. And you were born into your family. You chose your family. You actually chose your mom, your father, and the situation and the environment. And you came into the situation. And then little by little, you started to experience the challenges that you need to experience in order to learn about that darkness that you came here to heal. Learn about those areas of darkness in this world that you came here to heal. Okay? Because a guru in the Himalaya, you can go to a guru in the Himalaya mountains, and the guy can say, just forgive. And you'll be, okay, what? Okay, just forgive. Okay. But if you go to somebody who has been through what you're going through and has overcome what you are trying to overcome, you're going to pay attention to that person. That's why, like in AA, I don't know what they call them, coaches, sponsors. I think they call them sponsors. That's why people have sponsors like places like AA, because those people have gone through that journey, through that darkness, and come out to the light, right? And so they can offer these people who are still stuck in the darkness a little light at the end of the tunnel. And because these people, when they hear this person here, when they hear this person's story, these people know, oh, that person has gone through what I'm going through right now. So I'm really going to pay attention. Okay. And so you really pay attention to those people who have gone through the darkness and come out to the light. And so that's what you're doing in every situation where you're placing judgment ahead of forgiveness, resentment ahead of compassion. All those are little areas of darkness that you have come here to overcome. And because your brother or sister is in your life to help you do that, you're seeing that it's only because they're in your presence in your life that you're going to be able to go through those challenges and overcome them. And so out of 8 billion people, that person volunteered to help you heal and awaken. Out of 8 billion people, person A or B, the person who's with you, who's triggering you, that's the person who's helping you realize that you're holding something within you that you do not want.
But maybe I'm judgmental or overreactive or something is because of the training I received from the people when I was growing up. They said they were always judgmental and they taught me so it makes sense to be judgmental. So that's my auto response. I don't know any different. My nervous system says be judgmental. So now you're pointing that out, but not everybody is on this course right now, and people are going with their lives being judgmental, responding from the nervous system, which was programmed from the age of 0 to 6.
Yeah. And so you came into this world, let's say, to say, you know what? I can bring an understanding of forgiveness and compassion into this world of judgment. So I can help begin to heal people who are dealing with judgment. Well, the only way to do that is to experience what it's like to be a judgmental person. And so you came into the world deciding to heal this idea of judgment, of condemnation, of self and others. And so that's why you're experiencing it. And those people who helped you learn that fantasy, they are part of your journey. They are helping you realize that they helped you learn about judgment, so you can little by little overcome that. Because you can only hit your head on the wall so many times before you ask yourself, is there not a better way to deal with this kind of situation? Am I going to keep on judging and judging and judging and being resentful and angry and feeling guilt and shame over and over and over and over again? Or is there a better way? And so all those times you judged, they got you to a place of asking yourself, man, is there not a better way to deal with this situation? But the only reason that you got to this place was because of all these other times, right? So if all these other times that the ego would have you condemn yourself and others for actually helped you come here to a place of peace and understanding and forgiveness and compassion, were these things really ever bad in the first place? If they got you to being this beacon of light for others? And so when you realize that all this stuff here that the ego would have you judge and condemn yourself for actually helped you become the more compassionate and wiser being that you are today, gratitude starts to become your response to everybody in your past and everybody who's supporting that judgmental thinking. Because sooner or later, because you are love and forgiveness is an aspect of love, that's why you're here to shine. And so sooner or later, you'll start to hit yourself on the head with the whole judgment thing, and you'll ask yourself, there must be a better way. There must be a better way. And when you realize that the reason that you ask yourself, finally ask yourself that question, was because of all your past experiences, then gratitude becomes your response to all those past experiences and all those past people who are part of that process. And so when you understand that, gratitude starts to become your primary response, not only to your past, but to everybody in your past. And then peace and appreciation becomes your response to that knowledge that everybody was really here to help you heal, that every situation in your life was really here to help you heal and awaken. What if you just trusted that every moment in your life, no matter how difficult or challenging it has been or is sometimes, what if all those situations were actually gifts from God to you to help you accomplish what you came here to do? How would you experience life if you knew that every moment, no matter what the ego says about it, is really a gift from God to you, from the universe to you, inviting you to awaken to what you came here to do and who you came here to be? You would live in a constant state of appreciation and awe to God and appreciation to God for that. And then you would have appreciation to your brothers and sisters. And that's where gratitude comes in. Gratitude comes in the second you remember what's truly happening. Because the second you know what's truly happening in any situation, gratitude becomes your response. And what's truly happening in every situation is that God is giving you an opportunity to heal from your dream, to awaken from your dream, and to heal from your quote unquote madness, from your support of the delusions is real.
Okay, so when do we bring in boundaries?
All you have to do is in every moment, do what brings you peace. Okay, that's your job. Your job as the light of the world is to do what brings you peace. Okay, so if what brings you peace is to put self-loving boundaries around your situation, then that's what you do. But you don't put boundaries around your situation with resentment or anger or frustration or guilt or shame. Those are useless boundaries. Those are ego boundaries. And so
So if the boundary is I'm walking away from the person, how is that going to fix or help or heal that person if I'm walking away from them?
like A Course in Miracles always says, your responsibility is the miracle. The miracle extension is God's responsibility. Okay? So your responsibility is simply to do what brings you peace. Whatever happens after that, that's God's responsibility. That's love's responsibility. And that's your practice. And that helps you practice trusting God more. And so I don't want to say that I have any experience in the craps tables, but how you throw the dice, there's certain ways that you can throw the dice to get certain numbers sometimes. So you throw the dice the best you can, and then whatever the numbers hit, whatever the numbers are, they are. Your job was just to throw the dice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right, 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 right.
Any other comments or questions?
Um, and the question about, let's say something is not going properly at work, or you can't always walk away. We have to fix the situation, But there is um, anxiety or apprehension or all that stuff. So, when is gratitude coming? After we fix it, or the exact, or we can use the anxiety and say, this is something to be grateful for, something to learn. Like where is the gratitude piece in that situation?
That's up to you, dude. I mean, if you see what's really happening in every moment, gratitude is your response immediately. Gratitude, sooner or later in your experience in your life, you're going to start to see that little by little, you're going to choose gratitude quicker and quicker. Because little by little, you're going to start to see that everything here is helping you grow, heal, and awaken. And so, even in difficult situations, you're going to start to say to yourself, okay, this is here for me. This moment is here for me to, in some way, shape, or form, grow, heal, and awaken. And so, no matter what that is, you do it with peace. You go into the problem with peace, and you ask peace or love or compassion or forgiveness or any expression of love or God. God, what would you have me think, say, and do right now? And then you think, say, and do only that. Practice thinking, doing, and saying only what God would do. And when you do that, you align with the mind of God. You align with love. And when you do that, you have peace no matter what you do or how you do it, because you're always doing it the best you can in every moment. The ego doesn't like this, but you're always at your highest level of development. And so there's no need to judge yourself for whatever it is, however it is that you respond, because that's the best you can do right now, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And so you're always doing the best you can, no matter what the ego says. And so have self-compassion, learn self-grace, have grace for yourself, because we're all one, right? And so when you practice having grace for yourself, you'll start to see everybody else with grace, with more and more grace.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any comments to this or questions? Yes, Mary.
Sure, I'll speak to affirm in my experience all that you've said. I think one thing that I'm hearing is that perhaps it's taking longer than you would like, Samir. And I definitely say that. And of course, it's our situations are as variable as there are probabilities, but the practice is the point, I think. And when you allow your guides to show you different modalities like the mindfulness and the self-compassion, and again, though, you somehow you have to be made aware of those options. And I can say until 5 years ago, although I read all of this with my head, I did not have the person-to-person experience. And once, I don't know how it happened. All I know is I'm grateful that these people started showing up in my life, and how wonderful it has been to experience a whole other side of humanity that I had been waiting for. And I'll tell you all, 70 years. And just to maybe too quickly, but quickly I'll conclude by saying I had an experience today in a meeting that I just asked a general question. The question was, well, how is this going to benefit our whole group? And this person responded, and I put my hands up like this, and they said, and you can go sit in the back of the room. And I did think of responding, as in getting up and going, but then I just sat there like, I'm not even. It just didn't even touch me, and there'll be some consequences, but I'm willing once again to be patient, and I'm not that I'm going to act, but other people will. It won't go unnoticed, so I'll just sit back and let, I don't know what you call that, somebody else do my dirty work. I don't know, but the whole situation is so silly and crazy. I still grateful that I didn't have any need to react.
Yeah, and remember that this is not a rat race. So you will get there when you get there, and it's always divine timing. It's only the ego who tells you, I have to be learn peace or be at peace by 8 p.m. Tomorrow night, or else I failed. It's all good. It's all good. It's all happening when it's supposed to happen. It's all divine timing. It's only when the ego gets in the way that you lose your peace. But what if you just trust? What if you just did the best you could in every moment, and you just trusted divine timing? What if you
But
just? Yeah, go ahead. Yes. Sorry.
due to through our conversation last week of gratitude, and so for some, once again, you made a comment of how it is our intrinsic divine nature of love, and what resonates with that divine nature. I just driving down the road, for example, and said, "Whoa, what a beautiful, nice road," and then just started to think about nice things, good things. But due to our conversations in the last couple of weeks, I've replaced my thoughts, any other random kind of, I don't know, pointless thoughts, with gratitude or love. And I just feel being in community talking about gratitude and love is accelerated my practice.
Good job, Mary.
Oh, hello, Isabel.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that I like to start my day with gratitude. It can start with a simple thing. I'm grateful for I woke up. I'm grateful for a new day. I'm grateful for the things I learned from yesterday, the things I'm going to be unfolding today. I'm grateful about the situation that even if I don't understand, I accept it. I'm grateful for the things that I don't understand. I'm grateful for what goes right. I'm grateful for what goes wrong. It's like for duality, it's so many things that we can be grateful, not only for the good things that is going on with us, on a daily basis, also for the challenges, that at times are there for a reason. And it's been my practice since 3 years ago between three people that we um, have a WhatsApp group, and we exchange our gratitude list almost on a daily basis. Sometimes I forget one day, but the next day I do it. And yes, it has helped me be more at peace, more content. I do go through challenges. I go through tough moments that at other times I could have reacted or reacted. Nowadays, I'm more into the listening mode, um, trying to understand, sending compassion both ways, seeing grace there, forgiveness. And I guess, yes, the practicing some things that we learn here in these meetings, James and Charles and stuff. So it makes our day easier, our life easier. It's like, okay, out of this, let me go back to my happy life. I say like that today. It's like, because I was into an argument with, and I said, okay, all right, I think it's, compassion, grace, both ways. Let's leave the situation. Let's go back to our happy lives. Just as like that, very easy.
Juan, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'd like to say that I am really grateful for what Isabel has reminded us of. So
Okay.
she reiterated exactly what you said, which is to be grateful for the things that are now seen as a trigger.
Mhm.
Because those things which you now are resisting, those things which we finally come to the realization that they're only a problem only because I'm resisting, can become your medicine. The medicine which eventually leads to healing. And you've healed when you come up against that same thing which you are now rejecting, pushing away, seeing as a trigger, the thing that must be put away and in boundary and all that other stuff. As soon as you recognize, oh, well, that's not a problem, because it really has nothing to do with who I and what I really am. Same as somebody were to call you an elephant. You would say, oh, that's interesting. That person thinks I'm an elephant. Wouldn't and then you let it go and keep going with your life.
Mhm.
No boundaries necessary.
True,
So thank
true.
you. Thank you, Isabel, for explaining that you're grateful for the things that so-called you want to get rid of. Eventually, we get to the point where there's really nothing to get rid of, because that which I want to get rid of is me.
Mhm.
So how could I want to get rid of me?
And I want to say that imagine perfect love, okay? Being designing this journey that you have. If you have a challenge, it's only because perfect love knows that you're ready to deal with it. Okay? So if you have something in your life that seems difficult or challenging, God knows that you're ready to deal with this situation. And so if God knows that you're ready to deal with the situation,
Wow.
and pat yourself on the back for your challenges. The more difficult, the more you pat yourself on the back, because it wouldn't happen unless God thought that you could handle it and overcome it. And so whatever it is that you're going through, the ego would have you say to yourself, okay, I'm going through a challenging time, or I'm feeling very judgmental or angry. I'm definitely haven't learned anything. That's the ego's thinking, right? But in reality, God is saying to you, you know what? You're ready. You're ready right now to deal with this anger and resentment or this challenging relationship. You're ready. That's why I brought it on. That brought it to you. And so instead of condemning yourself as the ego would have you do, pat yourself on the back and say, wow, God thinks I'm ready to deal with this? That's amazing. I can't believe I'm that far ahead. Thank you, God, for your trust in me. And if God trusts you, wouldn't it make sense to try and trust yourself in that situation and say to yourself, you know what? It's here in my life right now. So obviously, God thinks I can do it. So let me just do it. Let me practice letting go of my judgments and coming back to forgiveness. Let me practice letting go of my anxiousness and fears and doubt. And instead use those moments to practice trusting God more with my life and these moments. And in doing so, guess what the result is? Peace.
Mhm.
Have peace. And so don't punish yourself when you're going through a challenging time. Don't punish yourself when you're going through a quote unquote dark time. Everything that's happening is happening with your unconscious uh, knowledge that this is going to be useful for you in some way, shape, or form. And that no matter how dark it is, and it can be a little dark sometimes in this duality, uh, a little pretty challenging sometimes, you have the tools available right now to deal with your challenge. And every day you'll have the tools that that you need to deal with whatever it is you're going through. And all you have to do is humble yourself and ask God to lead the way. God, I don't know how to deal with this relationship right now or this situation right now. Can you make some suggestions? And then you know that God, you know you're hearing God when you have peace and when you're allowing peace to lead the way, love to lead the way, compassion to lead the way. That's when you know you're in alignment with Source. Any comments, Jennifer? Or Mary? Mary with an I?
I actually, I think the You Have Chosen to Remember book has really helped me with that, about looking at challenges as the gifts that they are, because it's such a different way than we've been taught to look at things. Is that the people who are our challenges or the events are the magical gifts that have the lesson that we need. It's such a different way to look at it, that the soul, from the soul perspective, that the lessons we're getting are for our soul. It takes away it takes away so much of the oppression that a challenge might feel like. It just is like, all right, it's a puzzle, we're going to figure it out. Or it's just a big mindset change on how to deal with challenges. And I don't always feel grateful in the midst of it, but I think it has totally changed my outlook on how to look at things. When I look at a challenge as a gift and opportunity, it's like a game changer for me.
And I want to talk about, imagine there's three of you, okay? Imagine your past self, your present self, and your future self, okay? Right now you're your present self. But imagine the appreciation you would have for your past self, for all that your past self did and overcame to help you become who you are today. Your dog agrees with me. So if you truly understood what your past self has gone through and overcome, your response to your past self will only be appreciation and gratitude. Okay? So now imagine how your future self feels about your present self. All those challenges your present self is having, your future self is so appreciative of everything you're going through now, you're choosing to go through now, because he or she knows that you will overcome those challenges and you will become a wiser, more compassionate, and loving being because of what you're going through now. And so if your future self can look at you with compassion and appreciation and love, then try to offer that same thing to yourself right now. You can offer yourself that right now because your future self is doing it right now. You're super appreciative of everything you're going through. Just like you should be super appreciative of everything your past self went through to make you who you are today. A more compassionate and wiser and loving being. And so just practice seeing yourself as your future self or as God would see you. And when you do, you will have that sense of peace and understanding. I think Juan has his hand up. Juan, do you have your hand up? Or that was after the last time? Maybe it was from the last time. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Or anything how about Juan is happy.
I just want to say excellent description. Excellent description.
Thank you.
Because there is no time. So if we want to, all of us can simply move to that place where you know you want to be. Nothing is stopping any of us from moving to that place where you know you already want to be.
Yes, don't not. The ego's going to try to punish you for being too slow. Okay, that's okay. That's just our past programming. When that happens, just recognize, you know what? I'm punishing myself for being too slow. What does that mean? That simply means that the ego is in control of your mind and thinking. Okay, so recognize, oh, I'm being self-judgmental of my situation right now, or my speed in resolving this. Okay, that's the ego thinking for me. And so let me put aside the ego's mindset and have compassion for myself and have the understanding and the knowledge that everything that you're going through, your future self is loving you for it. Your future self is looking at you right now because there is no time, right? There's no time. And so your future self is looking at you right now from the stands and clapping. And so just try to do that for yourself too. And also try to do that for your past self. Because we carry our past self with a lot of judgment and a lot of guilt and shame. But in reality, our past self always did the best he or she could in those moments. And so there's no need to judge yourself. Like a Course in Miracles would say, God has no need to judge because he's never condemned. So why not try to think in alignment with the mind of God? Why not let all your self-judgments and condemnation aside? Place them aside. They have no more use. And just trust in your process. Your process is perfect. Just keep on reminding yourself, my process is perfect. My process is aligned with a divine design. And so I will accomplish what God has sent me here to do. I have no need to run the 4-minute mile. Whatever you run your mile in, it's perfect. And God appreciates. Just like when you have children and they're in the park and they run towards you, and even if they fall and they pick themselves up, you don't judge them for falling. You're just so happy that they keep running towards you. And that's what you're doing every day. You're running towards God. It's just like sometimes you're unaware of it. And God is very happy no matter how many times you fall. God loves your progress. God knows that you'll make it to him. And symbolically, that's just making it to love, making it to being, having your mind aligned with love, and then being only love in each moment, in each interaction, in each situation and event. Be only love. Ask the moment, what expression of love are you asking from me right now? And then be that. Wherever you're at, in any moment, any situation, any interaction, ask, what expression of love can I be right now? And then practice being that. And then you will be accomplishing your mission as the light of the world God created you to be. Questions or comments?
There's one of the principles on the Course in Miracle that says, all miracles are possible, but the requirement is purification, something like that, right? So my interest is in the purification, what it will be recognizing, right? Taking responsibility, this is my part, this is what I did wrong, or this, I keep on having these thoughts, this negativity, I keep on blaming myself, I keep on accusing this guy or this lady, I keep on pointing fingers outside when in reality it's no one's fault. So, because the interactions that can be unhealthy sometimes, so the names that we may say or the tone of voice, the attitudes that could go negative, at the end, the one that it's, feeling bad at, or harming is our own soul, our own conscious, taking away our peace and putting some things that doesn't help. It is just blocking the road, for peace. And I guess the moment that we realize that we can purify our thoughts and our actions and our attitude, and every moment, even in the silence, under the curtains, thinking positive, thinking fine, blessing the world for these opportunities of learning, I guess miracles can be showing up more often. I remember one lady said, the moment that she started to look, to see, to count, like when we count our blessings, she said, let me count the miracles in my day. She said, the more I was like looking for the gratitude, she said, I was finding more and more, not just for my life. I was finding the miracles in this country, the miracles in this politician, the miracle in this lady that coming out of the hospital, the miracle in somebody that graduated, the miracle in this young guy that goes to the juvenile, detention, the miracle on this situation that, this business closed, things like that. So it's the miracle, the gratitude, are those connected, interrelated? Or the miracle is something that is the highest maximum expression of love? I think it's right.
The whole idea of purification is just to let go of the evil stories.
Inner stories.
So judgment is a self for others. That's the ego story. Anger, resentment, jealousy, hate, shame, guilt. Those are just ego stories. And you can purify yourself by recognizing them only as ego stories.
Mm-hmm.
None of those things are real about you or your brothers or sisters. And so when you recognize that only the truth in your brother or sister is true, only the love in your brother or sister is true, you can start seeing past the ego stories and into your brothers and sisters' soul, which is love and only love. And so no matter what the ego tells you about yourself or your brothers or sisters, let that go. Offer it to Source. Say, Source, the ego's having me focus on something other than love, I know that I'm not here for that. I know that that has never served me, or that has never brought me peace of mind or joy. I know that because of my life experience. And so now I offer you all this stuff that the ego is sending my way, all these thoughts that don't lead me to peace of mind and joy. And so in doing that, you purify yourself. You let that go into the loving light of God. And you can close your eyes and visualize all that stuff leaving you. All that stuff being sucked into God's light, loving light, and dissolving in his loving light. And then you're purified again because you're aligned with the mind of God. You're remembering that each moment is truly sacred, and that each moment is a sacred co-design with the divine, and that each moment is here for you. It's called the present moment for a reason, right? It's a gift. It's an eternal gift from God to you. It's only the ego who tries to convince you otherwise. And so you purify yourself by aligning your mind with the mind of God in each and every moment, in each and every interaction, before each and every word you speak. Invite God to speak it for you, and invite love to speak for you. And you don't have to do anything. All you do is humble yourself. Just humble yourself, and you step back. Like Mary with the Y was saying, you know, just humble you, step back and let God lead the way. You know, you don't have to get stuck in the drama. That's the ego stories. The ego stories about the drama and the arguments and the quote unquote differences and this is right and that is wrong and all that stuff. Each person's journey is sacred, and so practice non-judgment. For a day, practice not judging anything about what anybody thinks, says, or does.
Wow.
No matter what the ego tells you, just practice for one day. Just practice. My goal today is non-judgment. No matter what person A or B or C says to me, does, I will not judge. I will not judge, because if I judge, I'm judging God as wrong, God as incompetent. I'm saying, God, you're incompetent because my ego thinks that this should be another way. But in reality, that's just a delusion that has never brought you peace or joy. And so stop unconsciously judging God as wrong by choosing non-judgment. When you align with non-judgment, you are unconsciously saying to God, God, whatever you're doing, it's perfect for me. And it's perfect for my brother and sister. And yes, you can go ahead and, with love, set those self-loving boundaries. There's nothing wrong with that. When you come from a place of peace, you can set self-loving boundaries. But set those boundaries with love, not with hate or resentment or anger or guilt or shame. Set them with love. Because when you're being self-loving, we're all one. Right? So when you're being self-loving, you're loving everybody. And you're doing what's best for everybody by doing what's best for yourself. And so that's all you have to focus on. Okay, what is best for me right now? What thought, word, or action is going to align me with love, peace, and joy? And then do that, and that will help everybody around you. Even if they don't find it quote unquote helpful, it is helping them. It is helping them recognize that there is a better way, that there is a way to peace, that there is a way to forgiveness. By just being that example of forgiveness, you show them the way to forgiveness, that there is another way. And so practice non-judgment. And you will be aligning your mind with the mind of God.
And practicing non-self-judgment.
Your again, your volume is a little.
I think I mentioned my challenge is practicing non-self judgment.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's a great. That's a great practice. Practicing non-self judgment. That's an amazing practice. And so every time the ego has you say to yourself, the ego says, judge yourself. Okay, don't sink into that darkness. It says the ego says, judge yourself. You're not good enough, or you're not whatever enough, and then say, oh, thank you, ego, because you're helping me right now make a decision to practice non-self judgment. And so now you use the ego and its delusions as your ally in your awakening process. Because now you use whatever the ego says about you, now you use it as a trigger. Oh, this is a trigger, really. This is a trigger for me to practice non-judgment. And so, yeah, just practice self-non-judgment. And each time you get to practice self-non-judgment, hey, pat yourself on the back that you got to do that. And thank you, ego. I think Juan wanted to say something.
So using different words for the same concept is maybe helpful. So one can choose to have attachment, meaning things must be this way in order for them to be good, or for me to be good. If you switch those words for non-self-judgment or whatever, for simply just be present to my attachment, and then focus on having the willingness to let go of that attachment, not the thing, not put a boundary up between you and the thing, whatever that thing is, which is really just another form of myself. So the only thing that's real is the relationship that I'm having with that thing, the attachment, the definition, the purpose for which I'm using that thing to have this attack, this anxiety, this need to create a barrier, or, I don't know, whatever. The idea that I need to be safe from something. I'm already safe. I'm already at peace. Peace is the only thing that's real. The thing that's not real is the purpose that I'm using that thing for, which is, for as long as I want to be in conflict with it, it's going to be there and I'm going to be in conflict with it. But that's a personal volunteering thing that I'm doing. It's not necessary. That's not real. It's my choice to have that positionality to that thing, that attachment, which I've given it its meaning. Does this make sense? Anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Thank you.
one thing that I want to say about that is that peace, no matter how complicated the situation looks like, it's always just a choice away. You're always just one simple choice away from peace. And so no matter how much the ego wants you to sink into that darkness or despair or delusion, in any moment, I can choose peace instead of this. I can choose peace instead of this, and I will align my mind with peace. And so no matter how hard the ego says it is for you to have peace in any situation, it's not true. In any moment, you can decide, I want peace instead of this. I'm worthy of peace instead of these thoughts. I'm God's child in creation. He's love. Peace is an expression of love. Therefore, peace is my inheritance as God's child in creation. And so, because only the present moment is real, only the holy instant is real, only peace is ever truly real. And peace is always there available to you. No matter how dark it seems to be, the light is always available to you. All you have to do is look its way. And with that being said, folks, our hour is up. Okay, wait, there's somebody here. Okay, Mary with a Y said, I always come away from these chats with beautiful, positive visualizations. And I'm so grateful to you, James, and to the Holy Spirit and God, and to all you lovely and loving lights in this world. Thank you and good evening. So thank you very much, Mary with a Y. Thank you, Juan, Jen, Samir, Wendy, and Europe. Maria, thank you. And God willing, we'll see each other soon. Okay.
One day. Night night. Bye, James.